Well, the Russian pilot who survived being shot down above the Turkey border this week says he never got a warning about being in Turkish airspace. But Turkey releasing audio of a message it claims it radioed to the pilot. For more analysis, let's bring in retired Major General James Spider Marks, a CNN military analyst and the executive dean at the University of Phoenix. Also, our counterterrorism expert and senior fellow for the Foundation for Defense of Democracy's Daveed Gartenstein-Ross. Gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks so much for being here.
Happy Thanksgiving, Allison.
All right, let's start with this audio that Turkey says it radioed to the pilots. We have a little portion of it. Okay, they say change your direction immediately, change and change your heading south, they say. Spider, is there any way to know who is telling the truth?
Oh, sure. We could look at the actual radar signatures that take place. I know the United States probably had an AWACS aircraft in the air at the time. All of this is objective data. The key thing, though, Allison, is that the Russian aircraft should have known. It had all the capabilities in the world to determine where it was relative to the Turkish border. And Turkey had every right in the world to say, look, you're infringing on our airspace, you need to divert, you need to go away. The key issue is, was that Russian aircraft a threat to the Turkish airspace, to the Turkish aircraft in the air? And truly there is judgment that should have been discipline that should have been exercised before Turkey took the shot.
Yes, so I mean, you believe that Turkey had other options, that Turkey should not have shot down this plane?
Absolutely. Turkey had the ability to de-escalate at that moment. If this Russian aircraft was in an attack posture, it would have already painted, as we say, it would have already gotten a radar signature off that F-16, that Turkish F-16, and the Sukhoi would have engaged. But that didn't happen. But the F-16 painted the Russian aircraft and shot it down. There are options that could have been exercised that could have moved that aircraft off of Turkish airspace. And clearly, the conditions in the region are that Russian military provocation is not unusual. It's a matter of routine. Turkey should have exercised a little bit of what we call tactical patience.
Daveed, some analysts say that Turkey was completely justified in doing this because there are so many Russian provocations. How much does a country need to take? Yet, other analysts say that this shows that President Erdogan of Turkey is a bit of a loose cannon and that he, in fact, is willing to sacrifice NATO stability for his own agenda. How do you see it?
Well, with respect to those two views, it's a little bit difficult to understand from our vantage right now what the relationship between Erdogan's policies and this shoot-down is. I mean, it could have been a much more spur-of-the-moment decision, but in the broader picture, Turkey has been moving in a very dark direction. It's been taking a tilt towards greater state authoritarianism. Turkey responded terribly to the ISIS attack at a Kurdish peace rally recently. After that happened, they blamed Kurdish terrorists actually for carrying out that attack and started bombing Kurdish positions, including those in Raqqa province, ISIS's capital, where the YPG, the Kurdish militia, had been making great advances against ISIS. So the reason I bring this up is because it's a very dangerous situation right now. On Monday and New Day, I compared the situation to the start of World War I, where you had all these powers who didn't want a prolonged war, but there was too much going on. There was too much in terms of the wrangling between the various European states. And right now you have that situation that Turkey could, if the situation with Russia escalates, invoke the right of collective self-defense under the NATO agreement. And to that extent, Turkey's reliability as an ally is something that we do need to think about very carefully, in my opinion.
Spider, would President Erdogan had to have given this order, or could the pilots just have acted alone?
Well, the pilots could have acted alone, absolutely. I mean, the point I think that's being made is if you're going to be provocative at the strategic level, that seeps through the organization. If you want to exercise a little bit of patience and caution, measure your response to what is routine provocations, that too gets pushed down through the organization. So what's at the bottom reflects what's at the top. So the pilots could have acted differently.
Okay.
But Allison, I need to say, I think it's very interesting that some analysts are indicating that Turkey had the legal right, but there's kind of a bellicose response to what we see vis-a-vis Russia, yet simultaneously we hear a little bit more caution relative to ISIS. And I look at these two conflated and I go, my God, you got to be kidding me. We're going to be cautious against ISIS, yet we're going to be bellicose against Russia, nuclear power, incredible military history of animosity. This is a difficult situation right now, and I think we need to look and breathe through our nose and look at this through a filter of a little bit greater caution.
Spider, you have set us up perfectly for what's going to happen in our 8 o'clock hour, where we're going to have a debate between you and General Hertling, who have very different opinions of what happened over the skies over Turkey. So we'll look forward to seeing you again. Daveed, thanks so much. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Let's get over to Michaela.
Thank you.